Like she has good length and good timing. The way, Angel Reese had the advantage, got by her actually.
4 for 4 from the field, 3 turnovers, almost as many turnovers as field goals made. Got blocked by Cam Brink 5 times. Again, 26 rebounds. Whoa. Seriously. That sounds sarcastic, but yeah, wow, 26. That's pretty good. That's crazy. That's a lot of damn rebounds.
What if the moment everyone thought was going to get Angel Reese in trouble ended up being the least important thing about her night? Because while fans were arguing over a physical sequence involving Cameron Brink, Reese was quietly putting together one of the strangest performances in recent WNBA history. She wasn't lighting up the scoreboard. She wasn't shooting efficiently. In fact, there were plenty of reasons to criticize her offensive game. But somehow, by the final buzzer, Angel Reese had done something.
And that wouldn't be an Angel Reese highlight if she's not falling on the floor, right? If she's not falling on the floor, it just wouldn't be right if she's not falling on the floor. Okay, let's not forget rookie season Angel Reese on her way to the double-double streak. Onyeka Ogwumike purposely fouled Angel Reese to put her on the line so she can get her double-double. Onyeka Ogwumike, you are part of the...
The funniest part was that this was not some quiet, efficient rebounding performance where Reese Angeles receiving strong performances from Onyeka Ogwumike, De'Rica Hamby, and Cameron Brink despite eventually losing the game. Ogwumike finished with 27 points and 16 rebounds, while Hamby and Brink each scored 15 points, and Brink added 8 rebounds and 5 blocks, giving Los Angeles a formidable defensive presence.
Something nobody in the league had done before. And then she did something else that was almost just as crazy. So was this really a night about an elbow and a possible suspension? Or did everyone completely miss the bigger story? The matchup with Cameron Brink was always going to be physical. These are two players who spend a huge amount of their time battling around the basket, and neither one is exactly interested in giving up easy possessions. Reese attacks the glass with relentless energy, while Brink uses her length, timing, and shot-blocking ability to make life miserable around the rim. Put those two styles together, and every possession can become a fight for space. During this game,
31%. And you were wondering, at least I was, is she fading? Is she fading? And it would have been really understandable because, quite frankly, I think Carl Smesko plays her too many minutes. Hell, I think he plays his entire starting 5.
One particular sequence involving contact immediately started making the rounds online, depending on which replay you watched and which side of the argument you were listening to. It was either normal physical basketball or another example of Reese crossing a line. And that's where the internet did what the internet does best. The clips started spreading, opinions hardened, and suddenly people were talking about whether Reese could be punished. But there was one problem with that storyline. The suspension people were talking about never happened. And that distinction matters. Seeing contact on a replay doesn't automatically mean the league is going to suspend somebody. Officials have to determine what happened during the play, and league discipline depends on the actual ruling and the circumstance.
Record-breaking night for Angel Reese. A new WNBA record for rebounds in a game. 26 rebounds in a game. Glad that's over. We sure spent a lot of time on that, didn't we? Let's get into the highlights, shall we? The Angel Reese highlights, that is. Again, I just said she had 26 rebounds. What more do you want me to do? Good job. Angel Reese went off.
Surrounding it. Reese has certainly been involved in controversial physical plays before, so it's understandable why fans immediately connected this moment to previous incidents. But this particular game did not end with Reese being suspended. Instead, it ended with her name being written into the WNBA record book. And the way she got there was almost unbelievable, because Angel Reese had one of those nights where the box score looked like it shouldn't make sense. 11 points for made field goals on 14 attempts. 5 turnovers. Those numbers by themselves don't exactly scream dominant performance. If you only watch the scoring column, you could easily come away thinking Reese had struggled. And honestly, she did struggle to score efficiently. Cameron Brink made sure of that. Brink finished with 5 blocks, and several of Reese's attempts around the basket were challenged heavily. Los Angeles wasn't giving her anything easy. But then you get to the reb, and that is where this story gets bigger than one game. Atlanta didn't just leave Los Angeles with Angel Reese.
Elbow to the rib. Another elbow. Beat me down. Damn. Super elbow. Shit, reps. Hey, yo, rep. You gonna call something? You gonna call these elbows? You right here. You gonna call something? That's one elbow. She clearly, bam. Okay? This is a dirty, dirty dog. Bam. Another elbow when she spins. Bam. Another elbow. Damn, Cam, you took off.
Approach can be extremely effective because she is willing to absorb contact and continue pursuing the
Holding 2 new records. The Dream finished their West Coast trip with a perfect 4-0 record and moved to 25-13, putting themselves in a strong position heading toward the postseason. That matters because Reese's value isn't limited to the nights. When she scores efficiently, a playoff game can turn on one possession, and one offensive rebound can completely change momentum. A missed shot that should have ended a possession suddenly becomes another opportunity. A defensive rebound can stop an opponent from getting a second chance. And that is exactly where Reese has become so dangerous. But there is still a glaring weakness teams can attack: her scoring. Against Los Angeles, she shot just 4 of 14. Cameron Brink's 5 blocks showed how difficult it can become when defenders meet Reese around the rim and refuse to give her clean looks. So opponents now have a difficult decision. Do they focus on keeping Reese away from the glass?
Is slowly diminished, and Angel Reese realize, damn, my hype going down. Let me do some foolish stuff or say something stupid, because this is exactly what she said. So if you guys don't know, Angel Reese, I guess, broke some NBA record. It is crazy that she's now comparing herself to NBA players, greats like Shaq, Wick Chamberlain, Dr. J. Talk about she's breaking NBA rebounding records. This is funny to me. And Angel Reese fans is just eating it right on up, bro. I can't even lie. This shit.
Knowing that can open opportunities elsewhere? Or do they pack the paint and dare her to beat them as a scorer? That question could become one of the biggest storylines of Atlanta's postseason. Because if Reese's offensive game starts clicking at the same time, her rebounding remains this dominant. Suddenly the
Angel, tell me about you guys. Yeah. Well, you know what I'm talking about. She knows.
No, I don't, because I be setting NBA records too.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. All right. So tell me a bit of
offensive strategy becomes much harder. You can't simply let her miss and assume the possession is over. She might grab the rebound herself. You can't relax after a defensive stop because she could create another possession, and you can't afford to lose track of her around the rim. But there's another reason Reese's name keeps appearing in controversy. Every physical play involving her gets magnified. That's not necessarily because every play is dirty. It's because Reese has become one of the most.
Tell you, Angel Reese has made the damn news again. And I'm telling you right now, Angel Reese had figured out a way to epically troll the WNBA and all of her haters. And I have to say, she's genius for it. She is. She know everybody don't like.
Recognizable players in women's basketball. When a lesser-known player gets tangled up with an opponent, the moment might disappear by the next possession. When Angel Reese does it, somebody is almost guaranteed to upload the replay, slow it down, add a caption, and
turn it around. And as she's turned it around, the Atlanta Dream have now won 4 straight games. Now, 3 of these games were against lesser competition with the LA Sparks a couple times and the Phoenix Mercury, but it is a 4-game road trip. And they started the road trip up with a 97-82 dominant win over the Las Vegas Aces. And Angel Reese had 21 points and 10 rebounds in that game. She shot 46% from the floor. In the next game, she had that perfect night, 9 for 9 from the floor. She was 2 for...
Start an argument. And once that happens, the original play almost becomes irrelevant. One side says it's basketball. The other side says it's intentional. Then the debate moves from the court to social media. And suddenly thousands of people are arguing over a few seconds of footage. That's why it's important to separate confirmed discipline from speculation. Reese has previously received a 1-game suspension after a
Look, man. Before they call me a hater, I gotta start by this. Congratulations to Angel Reese. I think she broke the single season rebound record and the single game me-bound record on the same night. Congratulations, Angel Reese. I think she had 26 rebounds today. Okay. We all know you can rebound with the best of them. I respect the rebounding effort. I respect the motor, but your offense is still garbage. Look, man. One little 30-point game. Look, the sun shines on a dog.
accumulating. Her 8th technical foul during the 2025 regular season. But that was a different incident. It shouldn't be merged with the Cameron Brink sequence simply because both involved physical play. This game
Good, the bad, and the oh gosh, this is hard to watch. Angel Reese, she gave us everything yesterday. She gave us all 3 stages. The good, the bad.
didn't end with Reese being suspended. It ended with her breaking records. And perhaps that's the part her critics don't want to hear. You don't have to believe Reese is a perfect player. She isn't. Her offensive. The biggest problem for Atlanta's opponents might be that Reese doesn't need to become a completely different.
For Angel Reese to consider taking up a different game. Tiddlywinks, maybe? I don't know. I don't know what game she wants to possibly take up. I know one thing. She can't wait for the Unrivaled season to start at this point. Wow. So while the Fever and Stephanie White and all the mess going on there from a standpoint of they got to figure something out because they're not a well-oiled machine, but at least they're winning. While that was happening, something, as the kids would say, diabolical.
Player to become even more dangerous. She just needs the other parts of her game to catch up with the one thing she already does at an elite level. Because right now, everyone knows what happens when the ball goes toward the rim. Reese is coming after it, and that creates a strange situation for defenders. If they stay focused on protecting the paint, Reese can attack the offensive glass. If they send extra bodies toward her, someone else can find space. And if they back off and dare her to score, Reese gets the opportunity to punish that strategy herself. Against Los Angeles, Brink showed exactly why teams can't simply assume Reese will have an easy night. 5 blocks is a serious defensive statement. But despite all that resistance, Reese still walked away with 26 rebounds. That's what makes the matchup so fascinating. Brink can win a possession with a block. Reese can lose that possession and then win the next one by grabbing the rebound. It's a completely different kind of battle, and the physicality makes it even more entertaining. These two players are fighting for the same territory, often within a few feet of the basket. There's going to be contact. The officials have to decide which contact is normal basketball and which crosses the line. Fans then get to argue about every decision afterward. But the bigger danger for Reese isn't what fans say online. It's what playoff opponents are going to do. Because postseason teams don't care about viral clips. They care about weaknesses. If a team believes it can force Reese into difficult shots, that's what it's going to try. If it believes it can keep her off the offensive glass, it will send bodies toward her. If it believes she struggles when defenders crowd her, expect them to test that weakness possession after possession. And Reese will have to answer. That's where this record-breaking season could become something much bigger than a collection of impressive numbers. Because records tell us what already happened. The playoffs will tell us what it means. And there is still one question nobody can answer yet. What does Angel Reese look like when the pressure is at its highest? But before we get there, there's another part of this story that can't be ignored. Because for all the records Reese just broke, some people are still more interested in criticizing the way she gets them. And that's where the debate around her gets even louder.